Hi. As promised in this episode of Design-alicious, we're going to do the floor. Now, I've already done these beautiful stairs in my last episode, so the first thing that I'm going to do, of course, is cover these. Not with newspaper, because I actually just finished these yesterday, so you don't want the print to go on them, so maybe a sheet or something like that. And I'm going to get down to this floor. Now, the problem with this floor is that the rest of my kitchen has laminate in it. And the reason why I wanted to redo this part is because it was never finished correctly, and there was actually carpet underneath the laminate that was on top of this. I don't know, maybe they used it as the foam underneath it as I don't know, but carpet under laminate, honestly. So, I can't afford to redo the whole kitchen. So instead, I cut it already, and I'm going to put a transition piece here. Now understand, when I first took up the laminate, took up the carpet, I knew that I would find plywood and I knew that I would find the vinyl. However, I thought that this area was the same as the rest of our house, and I thought that it would have a nice, beautiful 150-year-old plank. You know that commercial where they go, "What did you find underneath the carpet? Hardwood?" Well, not only did I not find hardwood or the planks to refinish, however, what I did find after I cut here is these are planks that are original to the house, but as you can tell, they're kind of haphazardly put in with some repairs of shims and everything else. Now, I have two choices right now. I can rip all this up and replace the planks right on top of the joists, and quite frankly, I'm not prepared to do that. It's not my budget, it's not into my time restraint, and this is just a back area. So instead what I did was I cut a new piece of plywood so that this at least would be showing, fit it right into here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer it back down, and I'm going to use this as my subfloor, and I'm going to put tile on. Now, that was not part of the original plan, but that's what you have to remember when you're doing home renovations. Not everything goes to plan. You have to have a plan B, and if you don't have a plan B, you gotta be flexible and figure out what plan B is going to be. So my flexible plan B was running out to Home Hardware and getting these tiles. You see, eventually I'm going to redo the whole kitchen, and when I redo the whole kitchen, all the cabinets will come up and I'll go down to this level again and I'll put beautiful stone tile. However, I don't want to be limited by whatever I choose now in this area for when I'm financially able to renovate the kitchen. So, I want to do a quick fix that would still look good. These are peel and stick tile, but they're unlike the peel and stick tile of 10 to 20 years ago, in that you can see how thick they are and they have a slight beveled edge. These have a 10-year warranty, and these tiles you can either place exactly like stick tile and cut them with an X-Acto knife and yada yada yada, or you can also grout them, and I'm going to grout them. So I'm going to put them in, I'm going to have them just spaced a tiny bit apart, just enough to have a very thin layer of grout, and then they'll look beautiful, I hope. So let's do this together and see if there's any more surprises for this floor. All right. Okay, so we're done. kind of, almost. Well, as far as you're concerned, we're done. That's all you need to know. So in the last couple of days, I've sanded down the stairs, and I've also painted them with a nice runner, as you saw in the other episodes. I have also cleaned up the floor, and I've laid some tile. Now, as I told you and as you saw in the video, I chose stick tile, but not the cheap stuff. This has a bevel, it's very thick, it has a 10-year warranty, and there's an option to grout or not grout. I chose the option to grout, even though in about a year I'm taking this up when I retile the whole kitchen with stone, because I wanted it to have this real finished look. I didn't want it to be ruined when the dogs came in and everything else, and it has that. When you look at these subway tiles, you kind of think that they might be stone. Take a look. So as you can see, I put them in a haphazard pattern so that they're not all alike. I made sure that the bevel of each tile actually faces the other tile and the cuts are against the transition pieces or the walls. I placed the tile down. After I was sure of all the cuts, I then took the sticky back off and I placed them down again. This worked very, very well. I then put the grout on as per the directions, wiped off the excess. I've left the hazing on, and I'll be wiping that off in another 24 hours because it's only been 24 hours. After that was done, I went around and I did the silicone around the corners because I have a very old house with a lot of nooks and crannies. Once that was done, I took the transition pieces for each individual area, cut them up, and I nailed them in. Now, there are two issues with this particular floor. The first is that color transition piece is not what I would like it to be, and the reason being is that this tile turned out so well that I decided I'm going to do more of it, and I couldn't find the right color for that piece. So I bought that. It was really inexpensive, knowing that I'm going to get the correct color later when it goes on into the next level. The other one was, if you look at the kitchen laminate floor and then the tile, you'll notice there's a piece of corner round. As I mentioned before in the previous show, I plan on retiling the whole kitchen and this area in actual stone. So rather than try to fight with the fact that that's so much higher, I just put a piece of corner around in there and painted it up. So that's where we're at. This project, as far as I'm concerned, is a huge success. A couple of things that you really need to know and to take into account when you're doing this is the stick tile. When you cut it, you literally just have to slice it and then you can crack it open. You don't have to actually make the knife go all the way through. It'll literally just snap open. I think you saw that on the video. The other thing is that it does mar very, very easily, so make sure you have a steady hand and you have that square when you're cutting it. Make sure that you're not just going haphazardly all around the place, because you might hurt yourself and you might ruin the tiles. You can buy these tiles by a box. You can also buy them individually. So buy as many as you think is for the project, knowing that you can buy more individually easier than you can return half a box because you bought the box. Those are little things you have to think about. Now this whole project I did in the last 12 to 16 hours. Grout needs to dry 24 to 48 hours before you step on it. I've been very lenient with that so I could silicone it and finish it for you. The silicone needs 12 hours, and it's a special silicone that's especially made for tile. It has a bit of the grout sand mixture in it. Again, very important for the look and the resistance of it. After 48 hours, I'm actually going to put a sealer on the grout, which is another important step. It's only $10.99. You brush it on yourself just along the cracks. It'll make it a lot easier to clean, which I have 2 dogs and I don't want to be cleaning all the time, so you should think about things like that. Anyway, I think this was a huge success. Time to relax.